Hello and welcome back to Easy Money with Don Anders. We're here with Heather Schreiber. Heather is a Social Security expert. We brought her in to discuss different topics about Social Security, questions that you've asked and we've had clients ask. So today we're talking specifically about does it make sense to file early? Well, does it ever make sense to take your Social Security at 62, Heather?
Yes. I mean, and here's the thing, this is one of the most often questions, when should I file, right? If someone tells you unilaterally you should always file at 62 or you should always wait until 70, you need to run the other way
Yep.
because I couldn't disagree with that more. And that's because everyone's situation is unique. Generally speaking, if there's an opportunity to wait, then that for the most part does make sense. Maybe not till 70, but when you file as early as age 62, you're obviously taking a permanently reduced benefit. But when might that make sense? Well, if you're health compromised, particularly if you're single, if you have a long family history of health issues, then certainly it might make sense for you to go ahead and file. If you're single, that doesn't have any ripple effects on anybody else in the form of perhaps survivor income. So that might be a situation where you'd want to file early. Another would be, what if you don't need the money? If you don't need, why would I file if I don't need the money? Well, if you don't need the money, perhaps you could put it to better use. Maybe legacy planning is something that is important to you. So you say, hey, you know what, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to use it to fund a cash value life insurance, or I'm going to fund, a Roth IRA or something for my beneficiaries. My legacy plan is really what's important to me. So that might be a reason. Let me think of others. What other reason?
Well, just for me, it's always what if you don't have beneficiaries and your health isn't great, right? So,
Right.
so the break even point, like we talked about on previous videos, is about 78 to
Right.
80. So what if, it's not a big concern with leaving money at beneficiaries, but you don't think you're going to be around at 78, 79, 80?
Yeah. And the other obvious one is you don't have a choice. I mean, there are
Yeah.
some situations where you're like, you know what, my health isn't great. I've had to retire. This is going to be a significant part of my retirement income. In order to make ends meet, I have to do it. Is it the ideal for someone who will live, to average or even slightly below average from the law of numbers? No, it might not be the best deal in terms of the cumulative amount of benefits you'll get, because if you take it at 62, you're reduced by as much as 30% if your full retirement age is 67. So, it is something to definitely consider, but, never is there a case where I would say it never makes sense. There are reasons to do it. We talked about a few that, you should certainly consider and talk to someone who can help you navigate those decisions and what the ultimate, end game will be if you choose to take that route of an early file.
I think what you said about, we did a video on the difference between advice and information, and I'll go ahead and link that. But what you said about running the other way if somebody gives you generalized advice is very smart, because a lot of times people will listen, especially to the talking heads and news and on YouTube and whatever else. And really what they're trying to do is to sensationalize things to get people to watch their show. And so they'll say things like, well, you should never take your Social Security until 70, or you should never buy an annuity, or you should never, don't buy life insurance, or only do this, or only do that, or only invest in these four stocks. None of that is ever universally true. Ever, 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 ever. Everyone is different. So listen to Heather and everything else, and actually, use these types of videos to educate you on when it might be the best time to take Social Security. But you should also probably just sit down with a financial advisor, look at your full picture and see, and then they can give you the pros and cons of taking it earlier or waiting. So thank you so much, Heather. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Heather. If you click here, that is the full playlist with all of the videos that I did with Heather about Social Security. And then if you click here, you can go ahead and subscribe for more content just like this. We focus on retirement planning. We focus on making investments easy. And we're going to be having a whole series all about interviews with experts. So please subscribe and we'll get updates and alerts on that. Also, Heather has a newsletter that if you'd like to subscribe to learn more about Social Security, you can do that. We're going to link that down in the description below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.